Introduction and unboxing. NSK's SurgicPro2 is a surgical micromotor with a wireless foot control for dental oral surgery and dental implantology, and comes in two models: optic with an LED light and non-optic that does not have light. In this video, we'll explain the contents of the original packaging of the optic set and operation of the touch panel with a review of their functions. Let's begin. Here's what you'll find inside the box: AC power cord, foot control and its hanger, a pack of 3 AAA alkaline batteries for foot control, control unit, coolant solution hanger post, implant handpiece, micromotor with cord, Y connector, tube holders, handpiece stand, internal spray nozzle, nozzle holder, cleaning wire, calibration burr, E-type spray nozzle, protection plug, O-rings, control panel and programming. Let's review the touch panel on the front of the unit and its control buttons. Speed buttons are used to adjust the rotation speed. Torque buttons are used to change or set the torque values between 5 and 80 Newton centimeters for implant handpieces. The current operating torque is displayed here like a graph during operation. Note: the torque values will appear only when the speed is set at 100 RPM or less. When the speed is more than 100 RPM, you won't see the torque value, but it's actually set at its maximum 80 Newton centimeters automatically. For example, for drilling the implant hole, you'll need that maximum torque at higher speeds. Program buttons. Select any of 8 programs in each of 8 implant systems. Note: to switch between implant systems, press the up and down buttons at the same time. The light button sets the display light brightness levels. This only applies to the SurgicPro2 with LED optic motor. The coolant button adjusts the level of coolant from level 0 to 5, with 5 being the highest level. The forward-reverse button changes the rotational direction of the micromotor. The gear button selects the matching ratio for different handpieces. In our case, 20:1 for the implant handpiece. The memory button is used to store the parameters of a custom setting in a program. After choosing your desired speed, torque, gear ratio, forward or reverse, and coolant flow, simply press the memory button for 2 seconds until you hear a beep sound to store the settings. You can store up to 8 programs for 8 different implant systems. Calibration is used to calibrate a new handpiece. There will be more on this in the calibration section later in this video. Settings, enter, and return keys are used to adjust the settings of the control unit, foot control, or the Bluetooth connection. There will be more on this in the settings section later in this video. The link key is used to switch communication between the NSK companion products VarioSurge 4 and Osseo 100+. This only works if connected to SurgicPro2. We'll explain more in the link section of this video. Battery level of the foot control is shown here, anywhere from 0 to 100%. The connection status of the foot control, VarioSurge 4, iPad, or Osseo 100+ via Bluetooth are all shown down here. Your SurgicPro2 can also be controlled by the foot control to avoid touching the panel during a procedure. The foot control allows you to choose the program number, change the irrigation flow, and switch between forward and reverse directions. The left button with the blue stripe adjusts the coolant flow. The button in the middle moves between your preset programs. The right button with the green stripe moves between forward or reverse. Note: you will hear a series of beeps when the micromotor is set in the reverse direction. Lastly, the speed control pedal runs the motor. Installation. Let's set up the SurgicPro2 for use. Connect the AC power cord to the power socket at the back of the control unit, then plug into a power outlet. Install the foot control batteries using non-rechargeable AAA size batteries. Make sure they are inserted in the correct orientation. Insert the foot control hanger by squeezing it and aligning the guides of the hanger with the holes on the foot control. Next, mount the coolant solution hanger post and hang the saline bag. Connect the motor cord by aligning the marks on the cord connector and the connection on the control unit. Push in the connector until you hear a click. Pull the cord slightly to ensure the connector is locked in place. Insert the handpiece into the motor and twist until it locks in place. Surgery straight handpieces will need to be locked in non-optic motors only. They don't need to be twisted and locked in optic motors. To install the irrigation tube, be sure the lever of the pump is turned to open and the needle end of the tubing is facing toward the back of the unit. Bend the tubing and insert inside the spindle. Make sure the two stoppers on the tubing stay outside the pump. Turn the lever back to close. Clamp the irrigation tube to stop the flow of fluid, and insert the needle at the end of it into the saline bag. Attach the irrigation tube to the cord using 7 holders, which are autoclavable. Note, the irrigation tube cannot be autoclaved and is single-use only. Note, packs of 10 pieces of irrigation tubes are available to purchase. Part number Y900114. There are 2 ways to connect the irrigation tube to the implant handpiece depending on the type of the drill being used in the operation. Single external spray is very common. In this case, connect the end of the irrigation tube directly to the external spray nozzle of the handpiece. For dual irrigation, use the internal spray nozzle in addition to the Y connector. The internal spray nozzle is mounted on the neck of the handpiece using the black holder. With a slight push, it will click into place. Simply connect the Y connector to the end of the main irrigation tube. Then connect one of the water supply tubes to the external spray nozzle so the free end of the Y connector is connected to the internal spray nozzle. This dual irrigation setup is only used in unique cases with certain drills. Now open the tube clamp and the air cap. You're ready for operation. Operation. I'll show you how to operate the Surgic Pro2. First, turn on the power using the main power switch. Connect appears on the display. The unit will automatically connect to any paired devices, including the foot control. Once connected to the foot control, the normal screen will be displayed. If the foot control does not appear and connect after 30 seconds, replace the batteries in the foot control and try again. Select the desired preset program number by pressing the program up or down buttons on the panel or the middle button on the foot control. Verify the program details. Confirm or change the parameters if necessary. Step on the speed control pedal of the foot control to run the micromotor and the pump. If at any point in a procedure a drill becomes stuck in the bone and the load reaches the preset torque upper limit, the error message "Safe" will appear on the display. You will hear a beep and the device will stop. If this happens, release the speed pedal immediately. To clear the error, tap on the speed pedal once. Press the green button on the foot control to change the rotational direction and step on the speed pedal again to release the drill. Once this is done and the drill is free, don't forget to change the rotational direction back to forward by pressing the green button again. Now you're ready for another round of drilling. Calibration. Calibration is aligning the specs of an implant handpiece with the control unit, so the set torque and the output torque during surgery are the same. Note, optimized calibration is done only for NSK 20:1 implant handpieces. Here's how you do it. Mount the 20:1 handpiece on the motor and insert the calibration burr. Press calibration until you hear a beep. The display will switch to calibration mode and Cal TRQ is displayed. Now you're ready to calibrate. For no-load calibration, an L is shown on the display. Hold the motor in one hand and press calibration. A beep sounds and the burr begins to rotate for a few seconds. Once calibration is complete, you will hear another beep and pass appears on the display. For torque calibration with load, an H is shown on the display. Plug the hexagon head of the calibration burr into the calibration block. Hold the motor tightly and vertically without excessive force on the burr. Press calibration, and the burr will begin to rotate the round block rather heavily. Once this part is completed, you will hear a beep and pass appears on the display. And for speed calibration, an L is shown on the display. Remove the burr from calibration block and leave the motor and the handpiece on the handpiece stand. Make sure the burr is not touching anything. Press calibration. You will hear a beep sound and the calibration burr automatically spins at a low speed. After another beep, pass appears on the display. Now, move on to the last step. H is shown on the display. Press calibration. After a beep, the calibration burr automatically spins at a higher speed. After another beep, success appears on the display and it returns to the normal screen. This indicates the process is completed successfully. Note, a proper calibration also works as a self-diagnosis. If the gears of the handpiece are worn out, correct data cannot be obtained by the system, and fail will be shown on the display at the end of the calibration process, in which case you need to send the handpiece for repair. However, fail could also be shown on the display if the calibration is not done properly and some steps are missed. Extras. Settings. To access settings, press and hold this button on the top left corner of the panel. There are 3 menus related to Bluetooth settings, which is where you perform pairing functions. Control unit settings to adjust beep volume, screen brightness, sensitivity of the touch panel, and doing the factory reset for the unit. And foot control settings to define the extra functions for the buttons on the foot control. You can search through these menus and their submenus by pressing the speed up and down keys. To choose any setting, press the Choose button. Then you can change the setting value by pressing the torque up and down keys. To exit from a menu or submenu, press the Return button. Sleep mode. To save the battery's life, you can set the foot control to go to sleep after a designated period of time. When the foot control is not operated for an extended period of time, the control unit puts the foot control into sleep mode, and sleep is shown on the display. To wake the foot control, press the speed control of the foot pedal for a few seconds. Next time, when you want to turn on the unit and start operating, push FC will be shown on the display. Press the speed control for a few seconds. The screen will be back to normal, and the machine will be ready for operation. To activate the sleep mode, in the settings, first change the FC mode to FC from auto. And then choose the sleep time from 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 45, or 60-minute options. Link function for foot control, Osseo 100 Plus, iPad. The Osseo Integration Monitoring Device by NSK measures the implant stability quotient, ISQ. Pairing it with the SurgicPro2 will allow ISQ confirmation over a shared interface, such as an iPad or the display of the SurgicPro2. On the main screen, press and hold Settings for 2 seconds to enter the settings mode. BLE Set is displayed. Press Choose to enter pairing mode. Press the Torque Up button to select Pairing OS. You'll see OS and Osseo blinking. Press Choose again. OS will stop blinking. The unit is now looking for the Osseo 100 Plus. On the Osseo 100 Plus, press the operating key to turn it on with a beep. Press and hold that key again for 3 seconds to enter its pairing mode. PA is displayed. Now, hold it near the SurgicPro2. In a few seconds, the 2 units will pair and OK will be shown on the display of the SurgicPro2. Press Return twice to go back to the main screen. Pairing with an iPad. Press and hold Settings for 2 seconds to enter the settings mode, and BLE Set is displayed. Press Choose to enter pairing mode. Press the Torque Up button 3 times to see PC and tablet blinking. Press Choose again. PC will stop blinking, and code 123456 will be displayed. The unit is now looking for the iPad. On your iPad, download the SurgicPro2 app from the App Store. Then open the app and tap on the settings icon on the top right corner of the iPad screen. Tap on Start Pairing with SurgicPro2. Enter the code 123456 and tap on Pair. Hold the iPad near the SurgicPro2. In a few seconds, the 2 units will pair and OK will be displayed on the display. Press Return twice to go back to the main screen. Once the iPad is paired with the SurgicPro2, you can monitor and save all the operation details in different files for each patient and for several dentists. Data can also be exported to a PDF. Pairing with a new foot control. Press and hold Settings for 2 seconds to enter the settings mode, and BLE Set is displayed. Press Choose to enter pairing mode. You'll see pairing FC, while FC and foot control are blinking. Press Choose, then FC will stop blinking. The unit is now looking for the foot control. On the foot control, press irrigation, forward reverse buttons, and speed control all at the same time, and hold them for about 10 seconds. The control unit and the foot control will pair, and OK will be shown on the display. Press Return twice to go back to the main screen. Foot control calibration. Your foot control's pedal and button response may become poor due to wear and tear over years. In this case, you can calibrate the foot control and restore its accuracy. Here's how you do it. Enter the settings by pressing the button for 2 seconds. Press Speed Up twice to enter FC Set. Press Enter. Press Speed Up twice to enter FC Cal while Off is blinking. Press Torque Up to change it to On. Then press Enter to confirm that 4 dash lines are displayed on the bottom right corner of the display. These lines represent the buttons and the speed control pedal on the foot control. Fully press all 3 buttons and the speed control pedal. Once 4 zeros are displayed on the screen, foot control calibration is successful. Press Enter. OK will be shown on the display after a beep sound. Press Return twice to return to the main screen. Care and maintenance. After each operation, it's important to immediately clean and lubricate the handpiece. During procedures, blood and other oral fluids are sucked into the internal gears. These fluids can dry in less than a minute and cause damage to the handpiece. For instructions on how to reprocess surgical handpieces, please refer to these videos on the NSK YouTube channel. For the motor and cord, tube holder, handpiece stand, and irrigation tube holder clips, follow these steps. Always use personal protective equipment before starting the process. Remove the gray tube holder. Attach the black protection plug on the motor and cord. Clean the surface of the products under running water at about room temperature with a soft toothbrush. 1 minute for the motor, 15 seconds for the holder and the handpiece stand. Wipe the products dry using a piece of clean cloth or paper towel. Remove the protection plug from the motor and cord. You can disinfect the surface of the products using disinfectant wipes or an ethanol moistened cloth for 2 minutes. To clean and disinfect the control unit and foot control, use an ethanol moistened cloth only. Sterilization. Autoclave sterilization is recommended. Insert sterilizable components into a US FDA-cleared sterilization pouch, compliant to ISO 11607-1. Seal the pouch. Use this chart for temperature and timing. Immediately after the sterilization cycle, remove the products from the autoclave and store in a clean, dry location. If you have any further questions, please visit our support site, nsktech-us.com.